Fellas, and here we are. This is our last meeting of 2018, and the week right before Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you all. We'll take a break next week, and then between the holidays, and then so we'll meet back here after the first year, January 2nd, in the room here. To do our last, it will be our last session on what is a man. So we're week 29, we'll finish it up at week 30. And that's kind of the plan. So here we are, and notice here, I know you can't read it, but notice we're almost to the end. We are, I mean, this is the last area of text. The only thing missing is chapter 50. Today we'll be looking at chapters 46 through 49. Of Jacob's descent. Here we are, his descent, and we're looking at these chapters. We're going to be wrapping up right there this morning. And just the review, where we're at now in our study is, we're looking at the latter years of this man's life, the time of descent, and we've looked at transformation. We've interpreted Jacob's life with in terms of that instance earlier on in his life, chapters 32 and 33, the wrestling with the angel, as a transformative experience. And we've been looking at now the post years in light of that, and trying to create some level of understanding regarding how, what effect that had on his life, and what we've come up with is, being transformed is not about any attainment to some sort of static way of thinking. And I'm proposing that is even though theologically we wouldn't state that, because we're all aware of the transformative nature of Christ's work and the effect of that has for the believer. But yet we do, in our functional practice and way of thinking, we look at it as, I'm not being transformed, I don't feel any different. And so we have this idea of attainment, which is, in my opinion, not correct. But transformation is really about a dynamic response to a particular occasion, and based entirely on trust. It's trust. And what we have tied to this is our level of transformation is really connected to our ability to let go and release control. My capacity to seek and receive grace, that is where I go. That is where I go. And to the degree that transformation has been active in my life is the ability that I will seek and receive grace. And it's directly proportional to my ability to release control. And unless I have a place to go, I will not release control, because I have to do it myself. And so therein is where major point here, our capacity to seek and receive grace is really indicative of our, indicative of what, of how we've allowed transformation to take place. So today, there are three parts in this last section. We're now in part C, Genesis 46 through 49, and we're going to look at that in relation to this last phase of Jacob's life, descent, and it's all about releasing control. And so here I've outlined this last section, 46 through 49. The underlined and bold sections are the areas that we'll be looking at. Just quickly, starting at 46, 1 through 7, Jacob and family make the move to Egypt. And then following that is a roster of all who made the move. And then our next section, where Jacob's active, is Jacob and Joseph reunite. Beautiful description there in 28 through 34. Then 47, 1 through 6, Joseph's brothers meet Pharaoh. And then our next section where Jacob has action, he goes in and he blesses Pharaoh. That's an amazing thing. And then, and then the story goes back on a more of a macro level of severe famine in the land, and really the provision through through Joseph is brought out. And of course, in a marvelous way, his forethought and how God has moved in his life is now he becomes the provider for an entire area of the world, which is amazing. Joseph provides for all. Of course, has a lot of correlation to pre-picture of Christ here. Then Genesis 47, 27 through 31, Jacob prepares to die. Jacob then blesses Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And then finally, chapter 49, Jacob is on his deathbed, and the sons are around, and he goes through and he blesses each one of his sons. And of course, we've looked at all of this in detail, but this is just the large outline of that section. Now, at your tables this morning, we'll do 3. And I kind of predicted we'd have 3 tables. So this table right here, you guys take this first section right here, 46, 1 through 7, and then 46, 28 through 34. Here's the broad statement. And then table back there, 47, Jacob blesses Pharaoh, and then Jacob prepares to die. You guys take that middle section, and then you guys over here, by far the largest table, you guys take this section right here, 48, where Jacob blesses his 2 sons, and then Jacob blesses Joseph's 2 sons, and then he blesses the 12. So this is all about blessing over here, and preparation back there, and then making the move here, and a reuniting of family members. Questions to ask. Life takes such unexpected detours, severe twists, and hard turns. We're all aware of that. As you individually ponder Jacob's descent years, what do you see? This is going to be a reflective time this morning around the tables. What do you see in these latter years? And it really flies against the idea of happily ever after. What does happily ever after really mean in the real world, in a real life? And that's what we're kind of pondering this morning. And then your table assignment this morning, as a table group, what I'd like you to do is create a statement, a unified statement at the table. And that statement is completing this sentence: we, as a table, see Jacob as a man, and then you guys finish it. And this is going to be, and what I'll do is collect these. I'd like somebody to write this down, and I'd like to gather those, and I'd like to put those on the slides for our last wrap up, and we'll do an activity with those. So that's your assignment this morning. As a table, can we come up with a statement, say we see Jacob as a man, and then you finish it. You describe it. So, all right, let's. I'll join this group right here.